A continuous glucose monitor, or CGM as is often abbreviated, is a small device which you can wear on your arm or your belly, which measures your glucose levels continuously. So you can see the changes in real time, like after a meal, for example. They've grown in popularity and a lot of people will swear by them for fat loss and for longevity. The question I'm gonna answer in this video is, if you're healthy, should you wear a continuous glucose monitor? If this is your first time here, my name's Adam. I'm a certified and registered performance nutritionist and online coach. Blood glucose levels are a measure of how much glucose, basically sugar, is in your blood at any one time. CGM devices are made for people that have diabetes to help them keep track of their blood glucose levels in real time rather than waiting months to see a result. For someone that has type 2 diabetes, I can see how these can be useful because they provide instant feedback. Say you eat a meal, then they'll tell you how your blood sugar levels are looking after that meal. They provide instant feedback. So if a meal's on plan and it's something that you've been given by a professional to stick to, and then you get the instant feedback that your blood glucose levels are under control because of that meal, then you're probably more likely to stick to eating that way because you've got the positive feedback. Even then, when you start to focus on everything you eat and how it impacts your blood sugar levels, this can become problematic because then you avoid carbs, you just focus on eating high fat and high protein. Then when you overeat on fat and you just avoid carbs in the long run, this can negatively impact your blood pressure levels, your gut health, and potentially in the long run, your heart. Just for perspective, even an intense workout can increase your blood sugar levels. Imagine seeing this type of feedback. It might actually make you want to avoid the more intense workout. But the main reason I've done this video is I keep seeing ads for CGMs and I keep hearing about healthy, like perfectly healthy people that don't have diabetes using them because they heard some health expert talk about insulin spikes. The same expert will convince you that if you want to lose weight and get healthy, you need to avoid carbs because they create insulin spike. It's very normal for your blood glucose to go up immediately after you eat, providing it comes back down. When you start to obsess over stuff like your blood glucose levels when you don't need to, it can create a stressful situation where you avoid socializing, you avoid going out to eat because you're scared that you might eat a meal which could potentially spike your blood glucose. If you want to reduce your blood glucose response to a meal, you could do several things without having to actually track it. You could just go for a walk after you eat, do some light resistance training 30 minutes before. Even a set of push-ups to failure could actually lower your blood glucose response to a given meal. But if I'm honest, unless you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, you shouldn't be so concerned with your blood glucose levels, especially not enough to get like a CGM. One recent study co-authored by Kevin Hall, who's actually one of the greatest researchers in the area of metabolism, like fat loss, performance, found that CGM readings in response to the exact same meal on a different week were not the same. So you could suggest from this research that they are potentially unreliable. If you're wearing a CGM, it's likely that you're tempted or you're going more towards a low carb diet, which can negatively impact your performance and potentially even your sleep and recovery. When you look at this study from 2018, which compared a low carb diet, in inverted commas, to a high carb diet in patients with diabetes type 2, it shows that low carb diets significantly reduce fasting blood glucose levels. However, the low carb diet was actually consuming, I say low carb diet, was consuming 39% of their calories from carbs. This is lower than the other group, which was consuming 56% from carbs, but this is no way near a low carb diet. I would consider low carb diets to be 15% and below. This is actually a problem with a lot of the research. They're not actually looking at like truly low carb diets. When you lose your extra fat, when you do some resistance training, build some muscle, and you also lower stress levels, over time, your blood glucose levels will drop. One of the benefits of actually building more muscle, not just doing resistance training, is it's going to help you tolerate carbs better. A 2017 paper actually found that resistance training can be used to significantly improve blood glucose levels in older individuals with type 2 diabetes. This is one of the main reasons, I wouldn't say main reasons, one of the reasons I'm so big on resistance training being the primary form of physical activity you do. Obviously, anything you get beyond that is going to be great, but if you're doing between 2 to 4 resistance training sessions a week and they're focused around progressive overload, focused on progressing each time, you're going to be building muscle. Building muscle over time, like I said, is going to improve your blood glucose response to meals. So I don't think that if you're healthy, you should be getting a CGM. If you're thinking, oh yeah, but how do I know? You can get it tested and you can just get it retested. But if you're focusing on the habits involved in losing fat, staying healthy, eating high fiber meals, eating enough fruits and vegetables throughout the day, eating higher protein meals, eating well-balanced meals, actually losing fat, getting some steps in, maybe doing walks after each meal, or maybe just lunch and dinner, you're gonna be in good nick. I can pretty much guarantee it. What you don't want is another device that's just gonna overcomplicate the entire process and make it unsustainable and make it unrealistic for you to continue doing the right things in the long run. So that's really all from me. Any questions at all, comment below. Deeper questions, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram. That's @AdamScottFit. Have the best day ever, and we'll talk soon.